Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas, and this is how to make a Grand Theft Auto style game in Unity, and welcome to episode 24. In this tutorial, we are going to fix the shadow right here because it doesn't really stretch far enough, and we're also going to deal with our new NPC that we've got in, and we're going to make her wander to random specific positions around the city, and I think we might expand the city a little bit more as well. Don't forget, click on the subscribe button and click that bell icon as well to stay up to date with every tutorial still to come in this massive series, and indeed everything else about game development on my channel. With that in mind, let's get to work. So this, I wouldn't really call it a problem, but this visualization has existed for quite some time in our game now, where the shadow distance isn't really far enough. For an open world game, you would expect the shadow distance to be a lot further than what it is, but maybe not necessarily over the whole map. Increasing the shadow distance is going to drain a little bit of resources, so just be mindful of that. So if we go to edit and go down to project settings and on quality, we can actually set down here the shadow distance. And if I just move this over here out the way, if I increase this, we should see this shadow take a bigger effect, like so. There we go. So I think about 200 should be relatively decent for us, maybe a little bit more. In fact, maybe a little bit less as well, I guess, depending. But it's something that has been bugging me for quite some time and I've wanted to fix. So now we have. Before we move on, though, I'm going to change our directional light just a little bit more and deal with the normal bias. So if you hover over it, it'll basically tell you how these shadows look. So if we increase it, you can see the shadows just appear that a bit more, not straight, but kind of a bit more shadowy, like rather the light can actually get through certain pieces a little better, but you can't have it too high because you will end up with a little bit too much, to put it lightly. You can see just how simple it is there. So you need to have it at least to some degree a little bit higher than 0. So I'm going to set this as probably about 0.7, and we'll see how that goes in our game for now. So with that sorted, let's focus on this NPC. Now, the great thing about this is we can actually use everything we've already pre-written with Malcolm here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take Malcolm and I'm going to duplicate him. And I'm going to bring him over here for now. And inside here, I am going to basically get rid of Malcolm himself and replace with her. But I'm thinking the best way to actually do this would be maybe to recreate everything on her, because realistically the actual setup of this new NPC is identical to Malcolm. So what we could do is we could copy a couple of these things and place them on Stephanie, as it were. So let's take the rigid body and let's copy component, and then we go on Stephanie and paste component as new. So rather than do everything all over again, why don't we just do this? We'll take the box collider as well. So copy component, and let's go back to Stephanie and paste as a new component. So it's a nice kind of cheap little trick to get everything as you would expect it to be. We already have the animator, so we don't need to take that. But let's copy the NPC AI script. Yep, that's what it's called. And place it here. And we're going to... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to remove component. Paste component as new. Nope, that's on the wrong one. Get yourself in order, Jimmy. Component is new. And then finally, the nav mesh. So copy component, back to Stephanie, and paste component as new. So realistically, I don't think we need this new clone NPC at all. Now, there is one more thing with our NPC. This one, at least. Just look at that. Just look at that. That's some scary stuff right there. So let's fix her. All we need to do to actually fix her up is go to her materials folder right here, select it, and it's gonna be gosh, which one are we gonna need to change? I think we might need to change them all, to be honest. It's just one of the little quirks that comes with anything that you would use from Mixamo. I've noticed, or rather, I've noticed it with Mixamo more than any. So I'm going to take those materials, hold Control, press D, extract them out of there so we can actually use them and modify them. And all we need to do is change the rendering mode to opaque on at least 4 of them, I think. We'll just quickly, I think that one, the top matte, that's okay. That one might be able to stay as it is. So let's set those to opaque. There we go. So on the body, all we need to do is basically just quickly reapply. There we go. Let's do the hair as well, just to be safe on this. And she should look okay. Is that pretty much it? I think that is pretty much it. Maybe the shoes as well. And there we go. Okay, so yeah, she's got flip-flops on. Well, I call them flip-flops anyway. Okay, so she looks a little bit better than she did before. Now, what I would like to know is what would happen to Stephanie if we were to press play now. Because theoretically, everything there should, by all rights, make her walk to the same place Malcolm is walking to. And effectively what's going to happen is she's going to follow him around in this big block that we have going. So I'm going to press play now, and I'm then going to go back to the scene view so we can actually get a glimpse of this before we actually play the game. So there we go. So the reason she's doing that is simply because she has no walk animation. So we need to sort that. But for now, I'm just going to show you what I mean. She will constantly follow Malcolm because they're both going to the same place. See? Still going. So when Malcolm gets here, he's going to re-trigger that other one, and he's going to carry on up there, and she is still going to follow. So let's do things a little bit differently now. So firstly, let's actually get her walking animation sorted. So let's go to Stephanie. And we can use the same animations that we use for Malcolm. So on Stephanie, on the animator, if she wants to actually work, let's drag and drop walking onto Stephanie right there. Then go onto the animator, and she should have that walking there by default. So now let's press play once again, because remember, we're using Malcolm's animation here. And she should. Yep. Awesome. So that's Stephanie now walking. What we want to do here is we want to make her walk somewhere different. Let's not follow Malcolm. Let's actually set a couple of positions around this map as it is right now and make her walk to one of those positions and then trigger a new position as she gets to it. And the way we're going to do that is actually real simple, because we don't need to really change this NPC now. This NPC is set up and will do what it needs to do when it needs to do it. All we need to do is, if we go to the actual destination, so NPC 001 destination, I'm going to hold Control and press D to duplicate that. I'm now going to change this to NPC 2 destination. I don't want to change the size of these windows. There we go. And how this is going to work is we're going to make a change to, well, not a change, but we're going to modify this script and make a change to it and create a new one from it. So NPC destination, I'm going to hold Control and press D to duplicate. And I'm going to rename this to NPC random destination. And then let's open that up in Visual Studio. So the way we're going to do this, like I say, is we're going to have a few select positions around the map, and she will walk to one of them randomly. So it's up to you how many you have, but since we have this set up for 4, I'm just going to stick with 4 for now. And obviously you can make this smaller, you can make it larger, you can make a complete random position, but then you run the risk of having to create more code because you could end up with a position inside these buildings, in which case she will forever keep trying to walk into the building and never get to her destination. So let's rename the class to be the same as the script. So NPC random destination. And basically, I'm going to set a cube and call it, well, this is the destination, or we'd actually use the destination itself. So let's have as the first destination down here. So probably maybe about there. Okay. So if we head back to our script, we're going to need to have another variable in here which generates a random number. So public int gen, and that's short for generate, pos, and then pos is short for position. And the way we're going to do it is basically we're going to set this as the initial place for the NPC to walk to, but I might actually advance it a little bit more, simply because I might randomize the start position. So the start position is going to be here for this cube always, and from there it will randomize where it goes, but we may randomize it in its initial start position. We'll see how far we get into this. So what we need to say is if other.tag NPC, and that reminds me, we do need to tag our NPC as an NPC. So let's go to our tag and go on NPC. Let's also rename Stephanie for now. You can keep her as Stephanie if you want to. NPC002. And we'll say on trigger enter, before we claim the, in fact, do you know what? No, we will do it after the tag check. So we'll say gen pos equals random.range, and in brackets 1 to 5, because we have 4 positions. Obviously 5, it will never generate that maximum number. And we now need to say if it is equal to 4, then we do this 3 2 1 0. So we're saying if it's 4, go back here. Now what we have to be very, very careful of with this is we could end up, for example, retriggering, I should say, a couple of things over and over. So I'm going to say the first position, which is, we'll change this actually. So I'm just trying to think the best way to do this, because I don't think we need this, you know. When I was testing this, I didn't I didn't mess around too much. I just did what I needed to do in the script, make sure it worked, and then carried on. So we may actually modify this even more. So we need to say if genpos, let's get rid of that. I don't think we need that, do we? So if, start at the bottom, gen pos equals 1, then we move this game object to where it is now. In this case, it's going to be 177 16 127. So 177 16 and 127. So that's right. Which means then if we have gen pos equals 2, then let's say it is, where can we move it to? Let's move it over here somewhere. Let's have it on this corner here. So that's 177 16 226. So 177 16 226. And I think we can get rid of these trig nums, because that was for only if we were going in a specific route, so in that circle that Malcolm was doing. So that means gen pos equals 3. So if it's equals to 3, not pod, pos, let's have it on this street corner, just maybe here. And let's say, I didn't make note of that. What was it? Let's have it there. I'm just trying to get whole numbers. So 150 16 249. 150 16 249. And get rid of that one. And then let's have that as 4. And we'll say, if it is that, let's have Stephanie walk all the way here. So 93 16 226. So 93 16 226. And let's save that script. Let's head back into Unity. And now all we need to do is make sure Stephanie knows that that is her destination and not Malcolm's destination. So if we go to our NPC 002, scroll down, the NPC destination is going to be that one. So we should see these two NPCs being completely independent of each other now. So let's press play. And let's go back to scene. And there we go. Stephanie is going over there. Perfect. So hopefully we should be able to watch Stephanie walk all the way over there. Oh, and there's the post-processing just triggered on there. That's why it's done that. Don't worry about it. She'll keep going, and she should. Is Malcolm still going? Malcolm is. So Malcolm's still walking that way. That's fine. Stephanie's gone over there. Malcolm's still walking around there. No problem. Stephanie is now going over there. Apparently she's walking to here. For some reason. Oh, okay. Where has she gone? Stephanie, where are you? There she is. So it looks like something has gone wrong. Oh, I know why. I've just figured out why. It's because we've not got the right one on, have we? It was the random destination script. Oh, that's because we've not changed the name. Sorry. I forgot we had the one at the end. So actually, in hindsight, that's actually worked in a strange kind of way. Because they've both acted independent of each other, but they've still gone to the destination, which is really strange. That's one of the quirks of when you're testing and debugging. Stuff like that really makes you laugh. So let's get rid of that NPC destination. Let's go back to Stephanie, which is NPC 2. And let's press play and see how she reacts now. So Malcolm was doing his own thing, which is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with what Malcolm was doing. And where is he? Where's Malcolm? Where is Malcolm? Where is he? There he is. So where's he going? Where are you going, Malcolm? Are you okay? And Stephanie, NPC 002, is going that way. And she stopped there. Okay, so what have we done wrong to make Stephanie get stuck? So we've generated position number 4. Okay. So I think we're going to need a quick debugging right now because basically she isn't working correctly. So let's see. So Stephanie is stuck at destination 2. So that means that... Right, okay. That's completely my fault. I didn't actually move the block back to where it should have been. So what I'm thinking now is if we move this block to, let's say, here, and then try. So she should trigger a different number. And I do think it looks like we're going to have to put a fail-safe in as well, just in case. Just in case. So hopefully she should walk to there. And then she's decided to change her mind and she's walking over that way, which is good. Off she goes. And she's going to change her mind and get stuck. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. If it generates the same number, because let's just double check what number it generates. This is the joy of testing. So if we let her walk to there, and we'll look at this number right here, and it generates number 1, which is fine. It means she's going to go down here. And hopefully this shouldn't actually bug out now. She should be able to continue walking as normal to whatever the next destination is. Because when it triggers, it's going to regenerate a random number. Or it should do at least, because we've got it right there. Come on, Stephanie. Hurry up. We don't have all day, dear. So she's coming to the trigger now. And it doesn't seem to generate that new random number. Okay, that is very, very peculiar. I'm not quite sure why. So what I think we're going to have to do is let's get rid of trigger num, because that is a pointless piece of code right now. Because of that, I think that may be our problem right there. So that has gone a little bit wrong because we've left that in. So that was my fault for leaving that particular variable in. So finally, we should be able to see Stephanie. Gosh, I do kind of like leaving some of these little debugging sessions in because I like to see you guys scream and moan at me in the comments saying, Jimmy, you left that in. And yeah, that's true. But it's always good to see how you can debug and work these things out so they don't go crazy in the future. So it's generated 1 again, which is totally fine. So while we let Stephanie walk to number 1 and hopefully have the bug fixed, let's talk about what we're going to do in the next tutorial. So I wanted to bring in cars originally, but I think we're better off focusing on our gun that we picked up a couple of tutorials ago. So we're going to look at aiming our gun, as well as adding some ambience to our city, because I want to move on to the next piece of AI, which is going to have our NPCs stop and cower if we aim our gun at them. So that is where we're going to go from here. And hopefully we should see Stephanie re-trigger this to a different position now. There we go. And there's that bug fixed. So guys, until that next tutorial, you can add a couple of these NPCs, make them completely independent of each other just by using this and do what you need to. So until that next tutorial, guys, I'm going to stop that. Thank you very much for watching.